Hello again, I'm Donald Cook with the Richmond Police Department, and we will be speaking on the top scams of 2021. I'm going to pull up my presentation here, and we'll get started. Okay, let's talk about the top scams of 2021. I am Donald Cook again, and I am an employee with the world-class Richmond Police Department. We have over 800 employees, men and women, who are employed with us, making us one of the larger departments within the city government of Richmond, Virginia. And tonight we're going to talk about scams. Before that, I want to talk a little bit about our division, which is the Community Care Unit, and a little bit about Richmond and what we do out of this unit. So a little bit about Richmond. The population as of 2017, you see there is a little over 227,000 people. And as you know, we've taken a census on last year, 2020. So we expect that number to increase. You see the breakdown and relationship of male and females and the median resident age, as well as the Virginian median age of 38.2 years. All right. You also see the population as by racial group breakdown. Now, a little bit about the precincts. We do have 4 precincts that are strategically located throughout the city of Richmond, and we encourage our citizens to get to know the officers where they work and where they live. We do ascribe to what's called a sector community policing model. What that model says, and it looks like this, we assign men and women to these particular sectors. We further break those sectors down into what we call beats. And in that, we ask that they get to know the citizens where they live, work, and play. So I encourage you, if you live within the city limits and you see an officer on his or her sector or in his or her beat, to stop that officer and say hello. We want those officers to get to know the citizens where they live. And if something, a community policing model says that if something looks wrong, that they will be, the citizens will be comfortable enough to share information with the police officers. All right, a little bit about our community care unit. I am assigned to the division of the Community Youth and Intervention Services Division. I like to equate our division to the outreach portion of the department. So if it has to do with education, if it has to do with camps and getting to or crime prevention, then it will primarily come out of our unit and our division. Under our division, there's, as you see there, the Police Athletic League, our Community Assisted Public Safety Unit, our Homeless Outreach Partnership Unit, and then we also have a Hispanic liaison, volunteers in policing, police explorers, and school resource officers. All right, a little bit about our programming. We do sponsor programs that are designed to improve the quality of life in the following communities: our business communities, our faith, Latino neighborhoods, senior citizens, schools, and youth. And I think pictures kind of really sell what we do. So you'll see a lot of pictures throughout these next few slides. All right, we just completed our Citizens Police Academy, and it is 6 to 7 weeks long, where we bring citizens in to learn about how we conduct businesses. So citizens are able to learn about our operations, and they're able to see some of our specialized units. So our mission of our Citizens Police Academy is to improve relationships with the Richmond Police Department and develop stronger advocates. Our graduates of our Citizens Academies become official volunteers in policing services, and they are also eligible to serve on some of our review boards. And as you see, their classes are offered in English and they are taught in Spanish. Our Faith Leaders Partnership is an objective is to unite for the mutual benefit of the citizens of the city, to promote cooperation, fellowship, and a better understanding among all people, and encourage education and contribute to the betterment of you. we found with this partnership that a lot of times citizens may not talk or want to speak with officers, and we hope to change that. We're working to change that, but they will speak with their faith leaders. And so we partner with faith leaders from all walks of life, and they help us complete our mission. We have what's called resets or rapid engagement of support in the event of traumas. Typically, when something traumatic happens in neighborhoods within 48 hours, we release a team to back into that community to reset that particular neighborhood. And we offer free services, free counseling services with our partners, RBHA, Richmond Behavioral Health, also Child Savers, and also our faith leaders partnerships. And with our faith leaders, you don't have to be a certain religion in order to be a partner with that. But we do ask that they are available to us to be able to go on these resets. Other things that they do include prayer walks. They also participate in our homicide support group cookouts that we have throughout the summer. All right, a neighborhood watch program. And you're going to hear more about a neighborhood watch program a little later on this week, so we won't belabor the point. But I do ask, if you are a citizen in the city of Richmond, Virginia, that you seek out your neighborhood watch program. Our Triad Senior Citizens program. This is another segment of the population that we work with. And as you can imagine, that our seniors are ripe for fraud. That's why tonight we're going to talk about fraud and scams, because they are often preyed upon. We meet with our Triad Senior Citizen group every month on the second Tuesday of every month, and it is a free and open program that we offer. That program is co-sponsored by the Richmond Police Department, our Richmond Sheriff's Office, the Office of the Attorney General, and we partner with the Senior Citizen, which meets over at the Peter Paul Development Center. And other opportunities include our National Night Out, ride-alongs, our youth police academies, our places of worship and safety forums, Virginia Rules Camp, our McGruff the Crime Dog. We offer free security surveys, free CPTED or crime prevention through environmental design surveys, and as I said before, a homicide support group. Again, all of our programs are geared toward crime prevention and helping our citizens to become more engaged and educated on how they can stay safe. All right, here are the pictures that I promised you. The top picture, see the officer here, is part of our Shop with a Cop program. It's a back to school initiative that we have with the YMCA, where we offer school clothes to school aged children. There's a National Night Out pictures here, and here is a picture from a graduation ceremony from our Latino Citizens Academy. All right, the next couple of pictures that you see here are from our Virginia Rules Camp. It's a free camp that we offer for middle school students. And the next two pictures that you see there are programs that we offer for our Triad Senior Citizens program. And if you look closely there, you might see a familiar face. All right, let's talk about the top 10 scams of 2020. And this is according to fraud.org, a project of the National Consumers League. Okay, the first one was an internet or general merchandise sales, not auction. Goods purchased are either never delivered or misrepresented. Prizes, sweepstakes, free gifts, a request for payment for claim fictitious prizes, lottery winnings, or gifts. And you've heard of that one, where you have sent or you've won a certain amount of money, but all you have to do is send a portion of the money back to the emailer, and you get to keep the rest. We've all received those type of emails. The third one is phishing slash spoofing. A little bit about phishing is where emails pretending to be from a well-known source, they ask consumers to enter or confirm personal information. So, and you should know that a lot of your information as a citizen is available online. Say if you have a landline and your address may be there, if they have your first and last name, they may have legitimate information like your address or phone number, or they may even know some people who you are affiliated with. But what the scammers are trying to do is to fish additional information out of you. So we have to be aware of the information that we share. Spoofing is another type of fraud or scam where a phone number, for example, looks to be legitimate. You may look on your caller ID and it comes from or appears to come from an 804 area code, but once you answer it, it's clearly not from a person in this country. That's a type of spoofing, and we also see these spoofing emails that look legitimate, but they are not. And so we want to make sure that citizens are aware of this type of scam. Our fourth one is fake check scams, where consumers are paid with phony checks for work or for items that they're trying to sell, and they're instructed to wire money back to the buyer. And so we have to be aware of the fake check scams as well. Also, the type of apps that we use, for example, like Venmo and Cash App or either PayPal, we have to be sure that we recommend that you deal with people that are local, especially when you're dealing with selling things online, because we found that this some citizens, they can put a false claim on accounts like PayPal and Venmo and things of that nature, where they would have already received the payment and paid you, but then they put a false claim and then they're able to obtain their money. So now, or their money back. So now they have their money as well as your product. So we encourage persons, especially if you live in the city of Richmond, to try to conduct persons business with persons uh, um, in person or locally. And if not, you want to make sure that you vet that person enough that you're able to trust what they're doing and saying is legitimate. And as a side note, the Richmond Police Department offers free safe exchange zones. If you are selling merchandise online, you can go to our fourth precinct or our second precinct. Fourth precinct is located in the north side of the city, and our second precinct is located on the south side of the city. Our safe exchange zones are monitored 24 hours a day by camera, and we encourage you to conduct business during the daylight hours. These zones are located in the parking lots of those precincts. And bring a witness with you. Bring someone with you if you are conducting those businesses to make sure that they are legitimate. All right, the next scam is friendship and sweetheart swindles or romance scams. And this is where the con artist nurtures an online relationships. They build trust, and then they convince the victim to send money. And you've seen or heard of these before, where you might have cultivated a relationship online, and the trust is built, and then you agree, for example, to pay for that person to come see you, and you might wire them some money. Well, and then the day comes, or something happens, and they just happen to be in an accident or need additional funds in order to see or to actually come visit you. And so we want to be careful about these romance scams, and especially meeting people online. Our next scam is the advanced fee loans or credit arrangers. This is where the scammers they provide false promises of a business or personal loans, even if credit is bad, for a fee up front. And you might have seen these, and I'm going to say that not all of these are scammers, but you have to be careful of those businesses that promise to fix your credit, for example, overnight for a fee. And I often said, often will say that if it took you a while to get into, say, credit problems, then it's going to take you that amount of time to get out of it. It's not going to be an overnight fix to it. So we want to be careful on upfront fees that we pay for businesses that promise to fix all of your problems overnight. All right, our next one is our computers, equipment, and software technical support scam. This is where the scammers they claim to offer support for your supposed computer problems, and they charge you a fee to fix a non-existent problem. And you've seen this scam before, where unsolicited, the scammer will call you and say, "Hey, you're having problem with your PC," and then they'll ask to connect to your PC or your personal computer. And then if they're able to connect to your computer, then they're able to make it seem like your computer is um, having problems. And then they'll claim to fix it if you send them money. And we have to be careful of these type of scams. There's a lot of different videos on YouTube that if you have a lot of time or extra time, I encourage you to go onto YouTube and to type in computer scams, and you're able to, if you want a good laugh, you're able to view all of these videos that show citizens playing with the scammer. All right, and our last one is our family and friend imposters. This is where a scammer calls or emails claiming that a friend or family member is in distress, in jail, in the hospital, etc., and urgently needs funds to help. And this is where I say we have to be careful what we share online. We have to be careful of the friend requests that we accept online through social media. If we don't know them, or there's not mutual connection of other friends, and we don't trust them, then I would encourage you not to accept their friends' requests, because they very well could be an imposter. The way this scam works is that the scammer may go to your Facebook page, and they'll see that, hey, you are the son of so and so, or you are the mother of so and so, or the father of so and so, or the grandmother or grandparents. This scam is often used on grandparents, and they'll call and say, "Hey," and they'll say, "Hey, this is Gregory, and Grandma, don't tell Mom, but I've been locked up in Florida, and please send me $500. Please send me some money, but please don't tell my parents." Well, as a grandmother or a grandparent, quite naturally, you're gonna be concerned about your grandchild, and they'll verify information. They'll say, "Oh, this is Jimmy," and your grandson could be named Jimmy or what have you, even though they probably don't sound like them. And they'll say, "Oh, you don't tell Mom Sarah," and that could very well could be a real name. But again, they're pulling that information off of things that you share on social media, and what they're really trying to do is to try to have you to act without thinking, without verifying the information. So that's why they'll say, "Oh, don't tell Mom, or don't tell Dad, because they'll really be mad at me." But I would like to share with you, make sure that, again, that you vet the information before you send out any funds, especially when persons are asking you to do it right away or urgently, or there's no time to waste. When they use things of that names like that, or use phrases like that, we want to make sure that, again, that we vet that information. All right, the next two are investment frauds. When there's a hot tip, you have to make sure, again, that we're vetting the information before we actually jump on the opportunity. And then also extortion scams. This is where the scammer says, "Hey, I saw that website that you went to, and I'm going to share that with your wife unless you send this particular amount of money." And these are extortion scams, and we want to make sure that that you are careful of that. So this is where consumers are threatened to release of embarrassing information or other adverse outcomes unless a fee is paid. All right, I was so pleased to see this advertisement in the Home Depot, local Home Depot here in Richmond, Virginia. And I asked the clerk if this was just a local thing or was this a national mandate. And she let me know that all Home Depots have this posting here. Um, in their stores. She also went on to tell me that she was working the desk and a lady was in a hurry to buy all of these gift cards. Um, and she tried to explain to the lady that she was probably being scammed. But the lady was so adamant that she didn't know what she was talking about. Well, she said the lady returned within the hour and she was crying and she was just had to come back and tell the lady that it was a scam, that she had been bilked out of her money. But I'm so glad to see these type of advertisements in the Home Depot and hopefully some of the other stores like Target and Walmart, the ones that are or Amazon or the ones that are the usual suspects that scammers will ask you to buy. Hopefully, they will follow the initiative of the Home Depot. And basically, this is states that this is a consumer alert that you may be a target of fraud if someone has contacted you or requested that you purchase Home Depot gift cards. And don't be fooled by scammers. Home Depot cards cannot be used for bail money, IRS tax payments, utility payments, and or medical payments. So I was so excited to see this. All right. And according to the IRS, there is another stimulus check scam via text message that you need to know about. And this is where scammers text you and ask you to confirm banking account information. Again, this is phishing and or spoofing. The text contains a link that sends you to a website that looks official, but many times it is not. And I often say that if they are pretending to be the IRS or banking institution, those institutions already have your information and they wouldn't need for you to text them in order to verify anything. All right, so never provide banking account information. It is fraudulent. And as I said, the IRS already has your information and they can contact you or find you if they need to, for that matter. So regardless of the type of scam, many instances of fraud can be avoided by remembering the old rule of thumb. If something seems too good to be true, then it probably is. Here are some reporting links, according to IRS or fraud.org, that you can use in order to report fraud. And we're going to go over the scam tracker one since it is local here. All right, so let's talk about the Better Business Bureau's scam tracker. It is a way that you can view scams online. You can also not only view, but you can also input scams if you've been scammed. So if you spot something that seems to be too good to be true, try running it through the Better Business Bureau's scam tracker to see if other citizens have been subject to these types of scams. All right, and this is what this scam tracker looks like. You can search by keyword, you can search by date reported, all states, and the scam type. All right. For this example, you see here where someone has input the travel vacation slash timeshare scam there, and you see, unfortunately, they lost $1,700 on this scam. If you click on that particular scam, you're able to read a description of the scam, and as you see here, this company was supposedly they were supposed to transport a dog that they had purchased, and they paid a fee. Well, of course, they got halfway across the country, then they had to pay additional funds, and this is where the total of the $1,700 came about there. And just another note on that, there was a recent article, I would say last month, that came out on CBS 6 about a lady here, right, in Richmond, Virginia, who was also bilked out of her money. She wanted a special breed a pet, and she found a company online. She didn't check their references or anything like that. But this same type of scam happened to her, where she paid money up front, and then something happened, and she had to pay additional money. And what happened is she was scammed out of all of her money. Well, after that, she tried to contact the particular scammer, and the scammer pretty much um, uh, just just didn't hardly responded to her. Well, the news actually contacted the scammer with the phone number that was given, and the scammer hung up on the news person. So you know it was a scam, and I don't believe she ever received her money back, which is unfortunate. All right, let's take a look at inputting a scam. Again, if you have the business name or all of the information that you might have, you want to make sure that you're inputting all of that in the website, all that you have there. The more descriptive, the better. All right, now let's talk about the top scam targets of 2020. I say 2020 because many of us were home a large majority of the year, so we were ripe for to be a target of scams. And this again is according to fraud.org, a project of the National Consumers League. So younger consumers and seniors are being targeted more frequently. Complaints from consumers aged 25 and below and those 65 and older increased by an average of 30% and 15, almost 16%, 16% respectively versus 2019. Again, we were home more, so the scammers are very busy in 2020. So for consumers aged 25 and under, the top three most reported fraud categories, and I want to emphasize reported fraud categories, are internet merchandise scams, fake check scams, and romance scams. And for those 65 and older, the top complaint categories reported were prize slash sweepstakes scams, phishing slash spoofing, and internet merchandise scams. And I say reported, it's just like crime. If it's not reported, then of course the numbers could be skewed. So that's a great point that I would like to make, is that if you are the victim of a scam, we want to make sure that you report it, and goes for crime for that nature, or for that matter. So the 2020 top scam contact methods, as you can guess. Uh, Citizens were contacted via the webs, or victims were contacted via the web and by telephone. So we want to be aware of unsolicited friend requests, again, on the web, social media of that nature. And then we want to be aware of unsolicited calls and phishing slash spoofing attempts. There are ways that you can put your numbers on do not call lists, but that doesn't mean that you will not be called. What happens is you might one phone number may be blocked, but they may have 20 or 30 phone numbers that they call from. So we have to be vigilant about just being aware of unsolicited calls. My recommendation is, if in my practice is, if I don't know the person and I don't recognize the number, I let it go to voicemail. And then if they really want something, they'll leave a message, and then will return their call back. There are other ways where you can opt out of calls and other third-party businesses and things of that nature. And you can make sure that you check your emails if they are legitimate. In the very fine print, and a lot of those bottoms of those emails, you'll see opt-out options. And I encourage you all to do that, to make sure that we keep the unsolicited calls and such and emails to a minimum. All right, the Federal Trade Commission has set up a new toll-free phone number for tips to call and how to avoid another scam that we're seeing in 2021, which is the COVID vaccine scams. And as you could imagine, or would imagine, the COVID vaccine scams and the stimulus scams are on the rise. Just to let you guys know that you cannot pay to get early access to the vaccine. That is a scam. You cannot pay to hold your place in line, and nobody legit will ever call or text or email about the vaccine. Ask for your social security number, bank account information, or credit card number. That is a scam, ladies and gentlemen. All right, if you are the victim of a scam, this is what we recommend that you do. Please file a police report, contact your bank to freeze accounts, file complaints with reporting agencies, including credit reports, and know that you receive um, free credit reports. And what you should do is to go to annualcreditreport.com in order to view your credit report. And I recommend that you regularly view your credit report to see if there's something on there that should not be there. We talked about opting out or unsubscribing to call lists of that nature. And then you want to make sure that you remain vigilant. All right. And then our last slide here is a way to connect with the Richmond Police Department. We are available online. Our email address is rpdcares@richmondgov.com. Our website is richmondgov.com/police. And I also like to include this. If you are a citizen in the city of Richmond, the city has over 60 city services requests that you can make online. If there's a pothole in your neighborhood or out street light, if you have bulk trash in your neighborhood that needs to be addressed, you can go to rva311.com or simply just dial 311. All right. So that is our presentation for tonight. What questions do you have of me?